camera technology is wild. I can get as close or as far away as I want, and it's gonna track this focus. It'll track my hand. It'll pop over here. We have never had the ability to do this in the studio, but let me borrow you for you in the camera. So if I had a microphone that knew how far away it was from its source and could adjust the proximity and the loudness of that source with lasers, would you be interested? First of all, Lewitt did not pay for a video. They're not paying for an opinion. I don't have to make a video at all if I don't want to. They did send these mics for me to try out, and I have enjoyed putting them through their paces. But the reason I'm making this video is because this technology is very exciting to me in its applications in the studio, yes, but the possibilities here for outside the studio in your home with somebody who may not know how to use a microphone to the best of their ability, this kind of levels the playing field, and that's highly interesting to me. And it should be to you because I'm sure this technology is not going anywhere anytime soon. Lewitt sent me this microphone about a month and a half ago. I have used the 440 Pure and was pretty impressed by it at its price point. This is taking that whole idea to a completely different level. And there's a side of this technology that has me really excited about potential applications, not just in the studio, but in live sound or podcasting, how I've been using it, that just makes the job so much easier. As far as I know, there is not another mic that does what this does. So Lewitt made RAY, and what's happening, you can think about it like autofocus on a camera. This thing knows how far away the source is, and it's gonna put it in focus. The same thing is happening with this microphone here, that right now it sees you, the camera, and it knows how far away it is from that source, and you can tell by the line on here. Now, what's happening? What I have noticed when using this mic, and I've set it up for sessions, I've set it up for podcasters, I've set it up for basically those situations. I've recorded drums with it, acoustic guitar with it, I've recorded vocals with it, but the super exciting thing and the application where this becomes exceptionally useful is with people who don't normally use microphones. This is going to adjust the volume and what's happening proximity-wise with your voice. It's going to sound very similar back and forth, and if you watch our other channel, Phantom Power Hour, you've already heard this mic. How do our voices sound? What if we get real close?
If we get closer, do they change?
Does it? Does it change over here?
What about back here?
Ooh, maybe news coming on that front?
We've got some different microphones. I think that's all we're going to really say about it.
I've edited a couple podcasts with these, if it was somebody else, and they were great.
Yeah.
And they're cheap.
Affordable, they might say.
Yeah.
Cheap could be misinterpreted, Jeremy.
Yeah. So this thing looks like a 440 Pure from the back, so we were able to kind of sneak it in, and I love when a company allows me to be like sneaky with experiments like that. This one, you're not hearing this right now. This is just plugged in, has phantom power, so I can show basically the interface here on Aura. But I do have one set up right next to my Sheps MK21 that I normally use as my camera mic here. Right next to it, I have Lewitt RAY. I am not listening to these currently. I do not know how similar they sound. Ideally, they probably don't sound similar at all. This one, you can buy in a pair for $3,300, so we'll call this a $1,600 microphone for all intents and purposes. This is not a $1,600 microphone. The price as of right now on the Lewitt RAY is $349. One of the mics I have here at the studio is the Lewitt 440 Pure, and I can tell very little difference between these two mics in actual practice. What you're getting here for like $70 more is effectively speed on the back end. And let's talk about it. You can use this as a straight up microphone. If I tap the Aura button here, it turns the circuit off. Essentially, this is just a normal microphone, and it's very, very similar to the 440 Pure, at least to my ears. Killer on acoustic guitar, killer on vocal. I'll go ahead and provide some quick examples here of that on vocals.
This is gonna be the one. I hope I get this.
Here to achieve my dreams, you can step in my world, we can fight in my ring. No, it's the match that won't change a thing. I can't.
First love, first sight. tight while I'm trying to get control of my life. We gon' make it through the brainstorm. Hold tight, I don't really wanna play your type. I just wanna be me.
Also tried this on acoustic guitar.
Home, where I wanna be alone.
The one that particularly surprised me, because I hate one-trick ponies, and if all this is good for is a vocal mic or podcasting thing, I'm not super interested, but drum rooms. So at $3.49 a pop, if you're someone in a studio doing podcasting and you're working with people who don't normally work around microphones, you can also use this in other aspects and it becomes that much more of a useful tool. Anywhere I can use a tool multiple places, it adds that much more value for me. But let's talk about the Aura circuit. So if I want to turn this bad boy on, just click it. It's seeing the camera right now. And the closer I bring it to the camera, the closer it is going to pick this up. Now, the farther I pull this back, it's going to adjust for loudness. Now, let's do that on this one. So right here, we have the Aura mic right here. I'm gonna get really, really close to this thing. Let's turn the Aura circuit off and see what I sound like. I probably just got way louder and way boomier because the closer I get, the more proximity effect comes into play. I'm gonna turn this back on, and at around 30 centimeters is where this is gonna be equal when you turn that circuit on, because there can be spots where you're standing and you notice that volume is going to be quite different. But let me turn this off, and the farther away I get from this microphone, you're going to hear less and less of me. If I step away, how does it sound now? I'm not talking any differently, hiding behind my chair. As I come closer to the mic, there's definitely a difference in how this plays out. Let's bring in Aura. So now what you're going to end up with is a much more consistent level. What that's going to do is bring up the level in the room to compensate for the voice. The other thing you're going to notice is if your room is noisy and there's other things happening, all those will also get brought up. So if we start really, really close here, you're going to notice little bits of differences, but the thing that is going to be really sold is the amount of consistency at play here, that I could get up and kind of walk away. That, yeah, it's going to feel like I'm further from the microphone, but I'm not changing the way I'm talking. And the thing to notice here is the processing is going to be so much easier and more consistent on the back end. Obviously, this is kind of an extreme example. But what that means in practice is I can set people at a table at a podcast and not worry about how close they are or far away from the microphone. I'm going to get a consistent level. It has made stuff so much faster in that context. So it works as a normal mic. It works as a workflow speed up thing. And even if it saves me a half an hour or to an hour, the difference has paid for itself in time here at the studio. Here's where I'm particularly excited about this. So I run a lot of live sound, broadcast audio. I encounter a lot of individuals who mic etiquette is just not something they're taught. And that's okay. That's kind of our job to deal with it. And we utilize different tools to make that easier. Gates, compressors, to make it consistent. You never know if you're going to have somebody holding a mic down here, which happens a lot. You never know if somebody's going to be eating that mic right here. If you've run live sound, you know the difference there can be shocking. To the point where, depending how loud they're speaking and how quickly they make an adjustment, if you're not there to fix it, you can scare a whole lot of individuals and even throw the speaker themselves off, and that's not good when you're there as a professional providing that service to them. Once I used this on a few podcasts and really saw that, one, it sounded good, because all other things being equal, if this didn't sound good or useful, this technology would be useless, right? It sounds really good. I will say this, it sounds good on a lot of different vocals. And for a mic like this, with intended uses like it has, that's pretty useful. I can find a whole lot of uses for it, at least. What I emailed them about immediately was, can we get this technology in a head basket for a third-party wireless mic integration system? This is already doing what it's doing just with phantom power. With low voltage, those proximity circuits are doing their thing. What if we could get that in a handheld? So somebody using their microphone down here and then coming up here, and I don't really have to worry all that much about what they're going to do to the system or if they're going to scare all the individuals at the conference. It's going to be relatively consistent, even if it doesn't work absolutely perfect. This could be a game changer for audio, for front of house and live sound. I talked in very vague generalities to individuals who do this for a living. They keep hounding me if I'd heard anything. So Lewitt, I'm down to figure this out if we want. So let's talk. One of the other things you get here is a mute button. I honestly haven't used this very much, but I see its value if you're doing like live streaming. If you want to walk away from your microphone and not worry about it being muted, there is a mute function on here. You can set the distance, how far you want it, that if you pull away or if you scoot your mic to the side, it'll mute the circuit. Pretty crazy. And that's also some impressive engineering. It's not easy to effectively mute a signal without getting there's no click, there's no pop, it just mutes. The fact that they're doing this with the phantom power that's already integrated into the mic is just one of those things. It's just making it easy. There's few hurdles here. I think this technology seems dumb obvious because we've used it on our phones for how long? Our phones will unlock themselves with our face. They can tell how far away we are from them. We also use this on these phones to give a faux depth of field effect. Integration with microphones seems super obvious. I personally do not know if another mic out there does this. I've never seen one. I'm not going to say it doesn't exist. It probably does, and I'm sure we'll find out in the YouTube comments down below. The technology here genuinely excites me, and I wanted to make this video, maybe not because of this mic in particular, although this is a useful mic. I'm using it. It's effectively already paid for itself in the time that I've saved in the studio. The thing I'm really excited about here is what comes next. Where else can we use this technology to make our jobs much easier, to serve the client that much better? If there's a way to do this with a handheld mic on a third-party wireless system, that's game over. That would sell like crazy. How would you use this technology? The information's already here. This is obviously like a version 1 of this thing. If we can tap into this, we already see this technology on keyboards to manipulate MIDI information or effects and stuff like that. What if we could do something like that with this microphone? I'm tossing out ideas. How could you see using this in a creative way? Not just as a simple, let's make this sound even, let's make our jobs easier. I'm really interested in what's going to come next with this because it's been a long time since we've seen an XLR microphone, XLR, not USB-C, an XLR microphone do something different. And I think that's pretty interesting. Lewitt RAY. Let me know in the comments down below if you think you would find a use for it. As we've switched these mics up here, let me know, what do we think here? $1,600, $349. Does it change your overall experience of the video? If you like this one, hit the like button. Tell me how you would use a mic like this in your collection, if you would, if you care. If you don't, let me know. I'm Resident Loser Jeremy, and I'll see you in the next one.